Today, I want to talk to you about how to be present with your family or learning to be present with your family. I'm Rachel Jones, the Joyful Space Specialist and author of NourishingMinimalism.com. I like to be busy. It's part of who I am. I like to be productive. I like to accomplish things. I like to be working on things and physically see things come together or change. I have a hard time sitting and just being content to be there and be present, to be quiet and allow myself that time to decompress. Because I know this about myself. I know I don't want my husband and my children to look back on life and say like, yeah, mom was always busy. She just never had time to really sit and enjoy life at all. She was just too busy doing things. So I have to intentionally set aside time so that happens, so they don't look back and say that about me. And I'm not perfect here. There's not like a switch in your brain that like once you declutter your house, you get rid of the excess, or you embrace minimalism, and all of a sudden like, boom, okay, now I can sit and be still and I'm good with that. It doesn't happen that easy. But I have found ways to help me do that, to help me be more present with my family. When I do routines, I have cues for myself. So my morning routine, my cue is when I finish drinking my cup of coffee, I put it in the sink. And then like, I know right then I need to do the dishes. And it's the same with the evening. When I put my plate in the sink after dinner, I know the dishes need to be done. So those are my cues to do my maintenance routine. Well, it's the same for just slowing down and sitting and being still. In the morning, after the kids go to school, I have a cup of coffee. And I'm not one to just guzzle a cup of coffee. Like I can't do that. I have to sit, I sip it. And so that forces me to slow down and take that time to just sit there. This is the time when I do my daily devotion and I read a chapter of the Bible because I'm sitting there. And I do have to do this before I start working on stuff for the day, before I go and start cleaning the house, before I do any work projects. I have to do this before I start. I can't check my email, I can't check social media, because otherwise all of those thoughts will be going through my brain and I'll start a to-do list. Even just up here, I'll just start thinking of all the things that I need to take care of. So for me to really do this, I have to do it first. I have to slow down, take time out first thing in the morning. Well, it's not first thing. Like, I mean, I get the kids out of the door first, but you know what I mean. So the other thing I do is journal. For me, I journal my prayers. And what this does is I have a hard time, like if I close my eyes and I sit there and I try to pray, my brain will just take off and I'll just like be going all these different thoughts. And so this is a way for me to slow down and really process what I'm thinking about and what I want to pray about. And it just keeps me in line with that. And it's not like it's my entire prayer. It's just a way to help me focus. So it might be the first sentence. Like if I'm thinking about my children and praying about them, then that'll be the first sentence. And then my thoughts might be aligned with that and I can continue that thought without writing, but it helps me focus and stay on that. This is just a tool that I use. I hope that in 10 years, I'm not in the same place where I can't control my brain enough to just slow down and pray. I hope that this works into a habit of taking time out and being able to sit and focus without that. That's the start of my day. And then after that, I allow myself to be busy and productive because I do enjoy it. I do enjoy creating things. I do enjoy being productive. So I allow myself that freedom. There's nothing wrong with it. When the kids get home from school, I have to intentionally put my phone down and look in their faces and pay attention to what they're saying about their school day. I have to take that time to not be distracted. So it takes a lot of work for me. It just does, because there's so many things that I could be doing. Like I can be, putting away their lunch stuff and putting their shoes away and all of those different things. But I have to put my phone down, sit down, look at my kids, and ask them about their day and really focus on listening to them. In the evening, I found that I can't allow myself to be on the computer. I can be on the computer all day and work on things. So I start dinner around 5, and from that point on, like, the computer's closed and it's put away, because if I'm going to be present with my family, I can't have that out and distracting me. On the weeks when I have a whole lot going on and I'm so busy and I have all these different projects going, or I have different needs from families or appointments, whatever, I'm very occupied and I have a hard time unwinding in the evening, I will pull out a coloring book, like an adult coloring book, and my markers, and I will sit there and do that. If I can't unwind, I will pour myself a cup of hot tea or maybe a glass of red wine. It's not necessarily about the drink, it's about the ritual of it. Like, so I can't just guzzle hot tea. I can't just guzzle red wine. So those are things that I will sip, and it puts me in that mode of, now is the time to sit and be still and not be doing things. There are other things that we do is I schedule family days. So Sundays are family day. We have a dinner together. The older boys are always back. Like, everybody knows that this is our family day. We have dinner and then we play games, card games or board games, something like that. It doesn't necessarily have to be long and drawn out. Like, every now and then we'll play Monopoly, and that will take hours. Often it's just something simple, a few rounds of Uno, or we like Dutch Blitz. Dutch Blitz is a favorite of ours. During the summer, we'll go up to the mountains every couple of weeks, maybe once a week, and we'll have a hot dog roast and a campfire. There's no cell service. It forces me to sit there. There's something for me to do because I'm looking at the fire and it, like, all the different sounds and nature, and the kids are running around building forts. I can slow down and be in the moment there. I can also do that at the beach. But we live in Montana, we don't get to the beach very often. So the ocean's very relaxing with the waves and the sand, and I can find myself able to be there without wanting to be busy doing something else. So all this to say, I've had to learn how to help myself be still and be present with my family. These are the cues that I use, really aid myself in being there. We don't want to live in the future where we're always thinking like, oh, well, I'll be happy when whatever happens. And we don't want to be living in the past where we're always thinking about like, oh, remember when, or we're hanging on to all this stuff so we don't forget about our past. We want to really be here in the present with our family right now where they need us, because this is where they need us. So we don't want to look back and think that I wish I had spent more time with my children. So I'm not knocking minimalism and all this work that we're doing. Like, absolutely, we need to declutter our house. We need to get rid of our excess. But at the same time, what are we doing that for? Why are we decluttering our house? Why are we embracing minimalism? Most of us, it's because we want to be present with our family. We want to actually have the time to enjoy our life. So if you want to learn more, you can visit my website, nourishingminimalism.com. That's it for me today, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow.